Hey, it's Danielle McCulley here in Seattle, also known as DMAC, former WNBA player. And today I wanted to make a quick video about the Maxwell equation and the TDI Pro because people ask me all the time, which one do I think is better? Which one do I prefer? And usually when I get those type of questions, it's always hard for me to just give an answer because I use them differently. I use them for different reasons, but I actually like them both. I've always been a fan of the Maxwell equation just because it does give you that little future price prediction. And then as far as the TDI Pro, I think it's just, you know, one of the most thorough indicators out there. It really gives you a nice picture of what price is doing, of what current price is doing. Now, Maxwell equation will give you, a picture of what current price is doing as well, but the TDI, it really, I don't know, it just tells you a whole lot, and it's just like you get three indicators in, that one indicator. So if you're against all these indicators and things like that, and you're looking for just one indicator to use, I would say go with the TDI. And there's a lot of different versions of the TDI. There's, I don't know, so many different versions. There's the Pro version, which I think is the best version of the TDI. It has some really awesome alerts and things like that. And then there's other free versions too. Now the TDI Pro it's really expensive if you purchase through the Compass FX. I think that's the name of the company. If you purchase through their site, it's like $250. But you know, as a member of MM4X, they do give their members a nice little discount. So, which I am a member of MM4X. So yeah, I was very happy with the discount on the TDI Pro. It was a nice little hookup. But anyway, getting back to the purpose of this video. So you want to know which one I like, and I just answered that question. I would have to go with the TDI Pro is my favorite indicator. But I love the Maxwell equation. I'm not taking anything away from it. I know some people are having a hard time with Maxwell, especially people that are using it trying to scalp with it. I don't know. They're saying it repaints and things like that. I don't know. I don't use the 1 minute or the 5 minute. Um, I may use the 5 minute chart. I haven't used it in a long time, so I just kind of stay with 15 and higher when I'm using the EGMAN. So right now I do have the Maxwell equation pulled up on the EGMAN, and I don't know. I don't want to get too caught up in talking about this, but a lot of people think that I am complicating the EGMAN, so I want to speak on that just for a second. I don't think I'm complicating the EGMAN at all. I'm not altering the EGMAN because in order to change the EGMAN, I would have to go in there and reprogram it, I think, right? Because it doesn't matter what I add to the EGMAN, the EGMAN is still going to be the EGMAN. It's still going to give you this little signal, this white arrow. You're still going to get this main signal. I'm not changing any properties or programming or codes of the EGMAN. So for those of you that out there that think I'm complicating it, complicating the EGMAN, hey, you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't see how I'm complicating things. So just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Anyway, yeah, I have the moving averages that I like to use. Shame on me by adding them to the EGMAN. But anyway, and I'm going to show you why I added them to my chart. You don't have to add these to your charts. Okay? So anyway, like this is an example of why I like the moving averages. Like I said, I'm not changing the EGMAN, and if I want to add this confirmation, like this little arrow right here, it's a crossover alert because I like using moving averages. And I don't even have these moving averages on my chart. I think this is for the 5 and the 13, which is pretty standard. So, and you can see that's a really good signal. So there's nothing wrong with that. It didn't change the EGMAN signal. And then I like using certain moving averages. Now, you would have gotten this signal here. And it's a great AGMAN signal. Like, you know the reversal is coming. It kind of consolidated here. You know, you got the candle closed. You got the little candle that closed below the angular momentum thing. And what I have been noticing about this, you know, even though it closes below and you get this, it's still not, it still may not be, you know, the best entry, because look at this. What did price do? It pulled back a little bit. And like I say all the time, sometimes you can't, God, they're out there doing, I'm sorry for the background noise, but sometimes you can't avoid the drawdown. I mean, you just can't, you know, unless you wait for a nice little signal like this and it just drops. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Maxwell equation. But I don't know, it just, I don't know, people just want to just talk about my AGMAN chart and how I'm adding all these things to it. So what? I'm doing what works for me. And this is a prime example how you can use the MA. Like, let's say you entered here. You got this, and you verified it down here with the Maxwell equation. So let's just draw the line, you know, perfect right there. And you can see with the Maxwell, it's showing a drop. Now, a lot of people are not paying attention to this little baseline here. And I think that is a big key. You know, people are just looking for the lines to go up, or you know, they're just looking for it to go like down or up and just going off of that. But you also have to be aware of where price is around this baseline. So this is a perfect signal, and this is a good AGMAN signal. You know, straight line, no no drawdown. It doesn't show any drawdown, even though here it just pulled back a little bit, spiked up, and then dropped. And then, like I said, you can also use the Maxwell equation to help you exit. So you would know, like if you entered this sale, you would know, uh-oh, okay, price is about to turn, you know, and you would exit right here. All right. So the Maxwell is good if you know how to read it correctly. And I've been saying that since day one. Now, back to my little moving average right here, I would have, you know, just even if I didn't have the Maxwell equation, I would know to exit this, you know, because look at that pin to this MA. You know, if you're in a sale, you don't want to be still in this trade when you get this candle right here, right? So that's a clue to to exit. And not even that, what if I, you know, what if I wanted to just trade the same pair all day long? You know, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to do this sale and then just sit here and wait for the next buy when I have opportunities. Like I can counter trade this. You know, this was a nice little pullback, and it was a perfect entry because you got the pin to the 200 moving average, and you got my little confirmation signal for the buy. So this is why I added moving averages to my chart, and look at that, you could have caught 115 pips. But I'm not just adding stuff just to be adding it to the AGMAN. I add it because they're things that I actually use with my trading. All right. So with that being said, you know, the AGMAN signal, you know, it does, not the AGMAN, the Maxwell equation, it does show the shift, you know, so it does show you a little pullback, and then it also shows you another little drop too. So again, right here, this shows the peak, but then it shows you dropping. So the Maxwell equation, it does a really good job, you know, of, it plays off of price really well. Still, I haven't seen it repaying. I'm sorry, I just haven't. And I don't think it really, maybe it doesn't, change as much on the higher time frames as it does on the lower time frames, but you know, I don't know. I really haven't seen it repaint, but some people say they have. But the main difference with the Maxwell equation and the TDI Pro is, the future price prediction. So, you can draw the vertical line at the current candle, current price, and then you can just kind of get an idea of what, the market of what price is going to do. So that's probably the main feature of the Maxwell equation that I like. But I do know some people that scalp using the Maxwell equation, and do really well with it. They just wait till they get these straight lines like that shooting down for the sell, or shooting up for the buy, and they do pretty well. So I think it's just a matter of learning how to incorporate this with your trading style and make sure that you are reading it correctly. It's a really good tool. You can't go wrong with the Maxwell equation or the TDI Pro. Now, let's hop over to the same chart that has TDI Pro. Like I said, there's a lot of versions of this TDI Pro out there. And there's a lot of people that, I know some people that only use the RSI price line, the signal line, and the yellow baseline on the TDI. They don't even use these volatility bands. And they just use these three lines here, and they do really well with scalping. This is the, I think this is the older AGMAN that is up. And I've kept it clean, so I don't want to confuse anybody by throwing on some moving averages, which is kind of ridiculous, I think. But hey, that's just my opinion, and we're all entitled to one. But with the TDI Pro, so this is to me, is one of the best indicators. It has everything you need in here. Like, for those of you that like to use the what do they call them? The Bollinger Bands. It kind of has that, but in the TDI they just call it volatility bands. But it kind of acts the same as the Bollinger Bands. And then you do have this yellow line is the market baseline, which is kind of the same little line that the Maxwell equation has. But the TDI, there's just so many different things and signals that you can look for. Like, of course, anytime, this green RSI is outside of these bands, that should be grabbing your attention, and then when it crosses back over, this is your entry right here. So if you drew the vertical line right there, you can see the green line crossing over the red and the volatility band. So you can enter that for a nice buy. And I know everybody says trade the trend. You should, but just because it doesn't mean you can't do a counter trend trade. People counter trend trade all the time. You just have to make sure that you know what you're doing and things like that. But the TDI, I think, as far as current price action and giving you a clear picture of what it's doing, I think the TDI is the best indicator out there for that. And like I said, with the TDI Pro, you get all the bells and whistles. Like, it shows you the downtrend. It shows you a lot of different things. Like, let me pull up some of the settings so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a lot, like that's a lot of settings, but they all are good settings. Like, you can get, TDI alerts. The ones that I like is the overbought alert, the oversold. I like the MBL cross 32, the cross 68. That's, the market baseline, the yellow line. It alerts you when it's crossing the 32, or, when it's crossing the 68. And another one that I like the TDI hooks and the squeeze arrows. I like those two. I just actually turned on the squeeze arrows because I missed a nice squeeze breakout on GJ's last week, and you can see right here on the chart. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I won't go through all these, but yeah, you get the squeeze alert here. This one is actually turned off, but on my other ones it's turned on. Those are the alerts. I like to know when it's a squeeze high or a squeeze low because you can be anticipating a nice little breakout. And I missed one on GJ, but I'll give you an example of one right here. So, you know, the TDI squeeze, anytime these volatility bands, anytime they are narrow, just like a squeeze, just, you know, exactly as what it sounds like, you know, they get narrow. You can expect a nice little breakout. So this would be considered a TDI squeeze high, and it's on the 1 hour. I mean, it's really good if it's on the 4 hour, but the 1 hour is okay. Sometimes you can catch them on the 15-minute chart too. But when that squeeze is like, you know, in this little close to the 63 or the 68, you can, I would say, kind of be on the watch out, you know, just it will act as a warning like, okay, this is a squeeze high. So once you get that signal, you're thinking, okay, well, there's a possibility that this thing can break to the downside. And it did exactly that. So these little diamonds on here, this is just the squeeze arrows, I guess. I don't know. They're not arrows, but this is what pops up when there's a squeeze high. And as you can see, what did it do? It just ripped to the downside. So that would have been your warning. You would have got the alert, squeeze high. You were like, okay, let me watch this pair. And then you could have taken it all the way down for 170 pips. All right, so I like the TDI, but I've used the regular and the free versions. They're good too because it's going to be the same indicator, but you're not going to get all the alerts with it. So the TDI Pro is the best version out there. And let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I mean, you're basically looking for that TDI cross. You can't hardly see it right here. This is the TDI hook arrow. So anytime you get like this green price line, it's just kind of, you know, it starts hooking. Like I said, you know, I'm always watching. I like when the TDI has been a hooker. So I pay attention to that when it starts hooking. So that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, I use both the Maxwell equation. You know, I use it and I like it. You know, I've always been a fan of it. But my favorite, if I had to choose between the two, I would have to go with the TDI Pro because it just, I don't know, it just gives you so much more clarity of what price is doing. You know, and this is the thing too, like I said, you got the AGMAN signal here, it's saying sell, you exit. I mean, you can count it, you can trade that pullback if you want for a quick buy. But if you just want to, you know, trade the trend, let's say you entered this AGMAN signal here and then you got out and then you're like, oh, but I want to jump back in because I know that, you know, the trend is going to continue down. So what do? Well, if you have the TDI, it will tell you, you know, when to exit and when you can re-enter. So like right here, because once the AGMAN signal pops up, it's just going to give you that one signal. It's not going to, you will get the pullback signals, but you're told not to trade those. Some people do. Some people like to scalp those and do a little counter trend trade, but you can see right here on the TDI, I'm trying to see if it lines up. Well, it's a little bit, yeah, so it would be on this candle. And, you know, there's that little red dot. They're perfect signals, you guys. They don't repaint. And if that complicates the AGMAN, oh my God, that's something that's simple. It's like a little dot there. But anyway, it works for me, like I said, and I have given this little non-repaint entry confirmation to people in my admin chat group. So, and it has helped people a lot. So I don't care if people think it's complicated. We know how to use it. All right. So, anyway, back to this TDI. Yeah. So, you can use this, like you can use it to exit. You can use it to re-enter. And basically, you're looking for this green line to cross below or above, the red line, depending if you're buying or selling, of course, and then this market baseline plays an important role too. So this is the market baseline is going to let you know whether it's, you can do like a more long-term or short-term trade. I mean, there's a lot of different things to look for with the TDI. I will say that I think a lot of people think it's too complicated just because it looks like it has a lot of things going on. But once you figure out how to once you figure out how to read it, it's a really good indicator. And it's probably, the only indicator that you'll need. So for those of you who don't who wants to keep it simple and things like that, yeah, I'm all about simplicity too. So that's why I say I don't understand how adding some moving averages is going to change the agment or complicate it, but everybody's different. So like I said, I'm not knocking anything anybody else is doing. I'm just minding my own little business, and adding to the agment what I want to add to it because I've already purchased it and what works for me. I'm not asking anybody to go out there and make any modifications to the agment. If you want to use the Heikin-Ashi candles, keep it on that. If you don't want anything on your chart, don't add anything on your chart. It's simple. Okay? But these are confirmations that I use. And I don't just use them on the agment. If I'm charting over on TradingView, I probably have, 2 or 3 more moving averages on my charts because I use them for different reasons. They tell me different things. Some of them tell me the trend. Some of them tell me when there's going to be a reversal. All kinds of different things, and there's all kind of different ways that you can use moving averages. But the MA crossover is also a very good entry signal. So they're really good for that. And when I scout before I even had discovered the agment, that's what I was using. MA crossovers. So they work. I know they work, and that's why I use them. So there you have it for those of you who wanted to know which one I prefer, the Maxwell over the TDI. I like them both. I would go with the Maxwell. I use the Maxwell when I want to look and see what future price is going to do. When I'm just concentrating on the current price action and what it's doing right now in the market, I have to go with the TDI. Like I said, even though the Maxwell equation, it will show you what price is doing too, but the TDI is going to give you a clear picture. All right, so that's all I have for you today. They're both great indicators. It's just a personal preference. That's basically what anything comes down to. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have some experience and would like to share what your thoughts are on the Maxwell equation or the TDI. Yeah, just leave a comment below the video. And if you have any questions, I did just start what is it? Oh, a Telegram group. So, if you want the link to that, if you'd like to join that, hit me up on Facebook. And yeah, I'll get the link over to you. But yeah, I did just start a Telegram group since a lot of the members in the chat group was asking for it. And of course, I don't know, for some reason, Facebook will not let me share any more files. So I think it's a good thing. So we can share charts analysis, talk about the FSO harmonic scanner, talk about the agment. whatever you use to do your chart setups. If you use MT4 platform, you can share that. It's a private group, so not everybody can share, but I do have some members that will also be sharing some charts and signals as well as with myself. So anyway, that's all I have today. I just wanted to make this quick video, give you a little breakdown of the Maxwell equation and the TDI. So my favorite right now, I would have to go with the TDI Pro. That's really all you need. TDI Pro and some knowledge on price action, you're good to go. All right. So hopefully everybody is studying this weekend. The market will reopen tomorrow. I think I'm going to stay out of the market until Tuesday. It's a bank holiday, so I'm not going to be expecting too much movement. It'll probably be slow and choppy. So I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to stay out the market until Tuesday. All right. So have a great weekend and I will see you guys in the next video.